Ever wonder if there's more going on than meets the eye? From UFOs to flat Earth, some conspiracies just refuse to die. But are they really just wild stories? Or is there something deeper behind them? Conspiracy theories have always captured our imagination. It's that thrill of thinking, what if? Whether it's questioning what we've been told or believing that there's a hidden truth, people love to dive into these mysterious and often bizarre ideas.
A lot of times when we don't have a lot of information, we tend to fill in those gaps with what we think is logical.
Today we're going to dive into 5 of the most talked about modern conspiracies. We'll be exploring everything from secret government cover-ups to technology that people think is out to control us. So stick around, we've got some wild theories coming your way. We're talking about things like UFO sightings, flat Earth debates, and even whether 5G towers are messing with your health. Ready to question everything you know? Let's get into it. First up, let's talk about the flat Earth theory, a conspiracy that dates back centuries but has gained a surprising amount of modern momentum. Despite overwhelming scientific evidence and space exploration proving the Earth is round, flat Earthers believe that the Earth is, in fact, a flat disk. Thanks to the rise of online forums, social media, and even a few celebrity endorsements, this theory has evolved into a full-blown movement, complete with conferences and its own set of scientific beliefs. Flat Earthers have a few key arguments they love to throw around. First up, they'll say that when you look out over the horizon, it always appears flat. To them, this proves the Earth can't possibly be round. They also argue that NASA, and basically all space agencies, are part of a massive cover-up to convince the public that we live on a globe. Claim is that all images of round Earth are fake or CGI, and space travel, totally faked. But wait, there's more. Another popular argument is that if Earth were really spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, as scientists say, then why don't we feel it? Flat Earthers will tell you that if the Earth were moving that fast, we'd be flying off into space, or at very least, feel some kind of breeze from that motion. They also bring up flight paths. Flat Earthers argue that many commercial flights take routes that don't make sense on a globe, but somehow make perfect sense on a flat Earth map. For example, flights between certain southern hemisphere destinations like South America and Australia tend to connect through northern cities like Los Angeles or Dubai, which they claim is proof that the globe is a lie. And then there's the claim about water. Flat Earthers will often say that large bodies of water like oceans should curve if the Earth is round. But since water always appears to lay flat, it's evidence of a flat Earth. In their minds, water can't curve, so the Earth must be flat. Now here's where things get even more wild. Some flat Earthers believe that there's a massive ice wall surrounding the edges of the Earth, keeping everything inside. Yep, kinda like Game of Thrones, they also reject the concept of gravity altogether, claiming that Earth is constantly accelerating upwards, which supposedly explains why we feel gravity without needing the planet to be round. Much of this belief comes from the Zetetic method, unlike the scientific method, which relies on hypothesis, experimentation, and peer review. The Zetetic method focuses on direct sensory observation. Flat Earthers only trust what they can see or feel themselves. If they can't observe the Earth's curvature, they don't believe it exists. The Zetetic method has fueled the rise of flat Earth communities online, where like-minded individuals reinforce each other's beliefs, and it gives the movement a sense of legitimacy in their eyes. The method rejects established science as biased or corrupted by institutions like NASA. Celebrities like rapper B.O.B. and NBA player Kyrie Irving have also contributed to Flat Earth movement, bringing it into the mainstream. While Kyrie later walked back his comments, the impact on pop culture was already made. So that's the Flat Earth theory in a nutshell. Despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary, this conspiracy continues to thrive, fueled by a mix of online communities, personal observation, and distrust of major institutions. It's a perfect example of how even in an age of science and technology, some ideas refuse to die. Whether you find it entertaining or frustrating, one thing's for sure, Flat Earth discussions aren't going away anytime soon. Next up, we've got a classic conspiracy that never seems to fade, Area 51. This mysterious military base in the Nevada desert has been at the center of the UFO conspiracy for decades. People have long believed it is hiding extraterrestrial technology, or maybe even actual aliens. What makes Area 51 so intriguing is how secretive the government has been about it, fueling more and more speculation over the years. One of the most infamous events that kicked off the UFO craze around Area 51 was the Roswell incident back in 1947. In July of that year, something crashed on a ranch near Roswell, New Mexico. Initially, the US Army issued a press release claiming they had recovered a flying disc, sparking widespread excitement. However, within days, the military retracted that statement, saying it was just a weather balloon from a classified project known as Project Mogul. The quick reversal only added fuel to the fire, leaving many to believe there was a cover-up of something far more extraordinary, possibly an alien spacecraft. Conspiracy theorists latched onto the idea that the government had recovered not only a UFO, but also extraterrestrial bodies. This incident sparked a massive interest in UFO sightings and solidified Roswell's place as a cornerstone of UFO conspiracy theories. Over the years, numerous witnesses from military personnel to locals came forward with stories that contradicted the official narrative, further adding to the mystery. To this day, Roswell remains one of the most well-known UFO incidents, with many believing the truth is still hidden behind layers of government secrecy. It's no wonder the incident helped place Area 51 at the center of UFO lore. These recent UFO sightings and official reports have kept the Area 51 conspiracy alive and well. In 2020, the Pentagon declassified videos showing military pilots encountering strange, fast-moving objects that exhibited flight characteristics beyond our known technology. These videos, known as the Tic Tac and Go Fast footage, reignited public curiosity and debate over UFOs. While the government refers to these objects as unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAPs, the lack of detailed explanations has left many wondering whether extraterrestrial technology could be involved. With modern technology, like high-quality cameras, satellite imagery, and live streaming, more people than ever are documenting strange things in the sky, leading to a surge in UFO reports. Social media platforms have created spaces where these sightings spread rapidly, often with speculation that they are somehow connected to secret experiments or alien technology at Area 51. In addition, programs like the Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, also known as ATIP, which investigated UFO encounters, have added legitimacy to the idea that the government is hiding something. This only deepens the intrigue and keeps people asking, what's really happening behind those closed doors? Many still believe that Area 51 holds the key to unlocking the truth about these phenomena. Area 51 and UFOs have become a huge part of pop culture, from movies like Independence Day to TV shows like The X-Files. The idea of secret alien technology and government cover-ups has captured people's imaginations for decades. And let's not forget the viral Storm Area 51 event in 2019. Millions of people online joked about storming the base to see them aliens. While it was mostly a meme, it shows just how much this conspiracy has become part of our cultural conversation. When it comes to UFOs, a few names stand out. One is Bob Lazar, who claimed to have worked on alien spacecraft at a secret site near Area 51 in the late 80s. His claims about reverse engineering alien tech became a cornerstone of the Area 51 conspiracy. Then there's Dr. J. Allen Hynek, a former astronomer who later turned to UFO investigator and advised on projects like Close Encounter of the Third Kind. Luis Elizondo, who led the Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, has also been a key figure, publicly speaking about UFO sightings in recent years. There's also David Fravor, a former Navy pilot whose encounter with a UFO, famously known as the Tic Tac UFO, sparked intense interest after footage was released by the Pentagon. Tom DeLonge, former Blink-182 member, has dedicated himself to UFO research through his company, To the Stars Academy. Jeremy Corbell, a filmmaker and UFO enthusiast, has produced documentaries about UFO phenomena, often featuring interviews with insiders like Lazar. Finally, Joe Rogan has played a role in the UFO discussion by hosting numerous high-profile UFO guests on his podcast, spreading awareness of these stories to a broader audience. So whether you believe that Area 51 is hiding extraterrestrial secrets, or it's just a highly classified military base, one thing's for sure, the mystery surrounding it keeps people talking. The more the government stays quiet, the more we all wonder, what's really going on out there? Next up, we've got the moon landing hoax, a conspiracy that claims the 1969 Apollo 11 moon landing was faked by NASA. Despite being one of humanity's greatest achievements, some people still believe the moon landing was staged as part of a Cold War propaganda effort to beat the Soviets in the space race. So what are the main reasons people believe the moon landing was faked? One of the big arguments is about the shadows. Conspiracy theorists claim that the shadows in the moon landing photos don't run parallel, which they say suggests the use of multiple light sources, like what you'd see on a movie set. In reality, the uneven lunar surface causes shadows to fall at odd angles, but for skeptics, this remains a big point of contention. Then there's the famous flag argument. People point to the US flag appearing to wave in the footage, which shouldn't be possible because there's no wind in the vacuum of space. The truth is, the flag wasn't blowing in the wind. It had a horizontal rod at the top to keep it extended. The movement came from the astronauts physically planting it in the ground, and the flag's inertia caused it to ripple slightly. Another argument centers around the lack of stars in the photo. Skeptics claim that NASA intentionally left stars out of the images to avoid astronomers pinpointing the location. However, the real reason is simple. The cameras used were set to expose for the bright lunar surface and astronauts, which meant the dimmer stars that didn't show up. Some theorists also point out the crosshairs that appear over objects in the photos, claiming that these crosshairs, which are part of the camera's design, sometimes appear behind objects, as if those objects were pasted onto the images after the fact. But this is easier explained by the fact that bright reflective surfaces on the moon tend to wash out or overexpose certain parts of the photo, making it seem like the crosshairs are behind the objects. But here's the thing, all these claims have been debunked with modern science. For instance, the shadows not lining up can be explained by the uneven surface of the moon, which causes shadows to fall at different angles. As for the flag, it wasn't blowing in the wind, it had a horizontal rod to make it stand out, and the rippling effect came from the astronauts moving it during setup. And the lack of stars, that's just basic camera exposure. The bright surface of the moon and the astronaut suits were so well lit that the stars didn't appear in the photos. The moon landing hoax has had a huge impact on pop culture. It's been the subject of countless documentaries, YouTube debates, and even memes. Shows like The Simpsons have made jokes about it, with Homer Simpson pretending to land on the moon in one episode. Even today, you'll see discussions about it online, with people analyzing every frame of the original footage as if they'll uncover a secret clue. It's one of those conspiracies that just keeps resurfacing. So despite all the evidence and scientific explanations, the moon landing hoax is still alive and well in some circles. It's a reminder of how powerful these kinds of theories can be, even when the facts are literally out of this world. Now let's dive into something that feels a little too real for comfort. Global surveillance. With the rise of the internet, smartphones, and smart devices, there's been growing fear that we're all being watched. Whether it's governments tracking our data or tech companies listening in, the idea of constant surveillance has become a modern-day conspiracy theory that many find hard to ignore. This conspiracy really took off with Edward Snowden's leaks in 2013. Snowden was a former contractor of the NSA who blew the whistle on global surveillance programs. He exposed how the NSA was spying on millions of people worldwide, collecting phone records, emails, and internet activity under programs like PRISM. His revelations showed that the NSA worked closely with tech giants like Google, Facebook, and Apple to access user data, often without the public's knowledge or consent. But it's not just governments. Facebook and Google have their own surveillance methods, using data to create targeted ads and personalized recommendations. They track every click, search, and even what you're talking about. And then there are devices like Amazon Echo or your smartphone, which many believe are always listening, capturing conversations even when you're not actively using them. This leads to the eerie feeling that we're constantly being watched or monitored for marketing purposes. What really makes people nervous is how seamlessly this technology has integrated into our everyday lives. It's one thing to know governments are spying, but when our home assistants, phones, and favorite apps might be doing the same, that's a different level of Big Brother. Fast forward to today, and concerns about privacy are more relevant than ever. Social media algorithms don't just know what you like, they predict what you'll be interested in, based on every click, search, and interaction. Platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok track your habits to curate feeds, ads, and recommendations. These algorithms know your interests, spending habits, and even your political leanings. Ever notice ads from something you only thought about buying? That's how advanced tracking has become. And it's not just social media. Apps track your location in real time, even when they don't need to. For example, map apps log your movement to provide a personalized traffic updates, while retail apps know when you're near a store to send you promotions. Websites collect your browsing data to build digital profiles that follow you from site to site, and this data is often sold to third parties without your knowledge. People are starting to ask, how much privacy do we really have in the digital age? With the rise of data breaches and reports of data misuse, there's growing concern about how much personal information is being collected and what's being done with it. Because of these fears, people are becoming more cautious with how they use technology. You'll see more people tweaking their privacy settings, such as disabling location services, limiting app permissions, and opting out of personalized ads. This gives users a bit more control over how their data is shared. Many people are also turning to VPNs, which are virtual private networks, to protect their online activity. A VPN helps mask your IP address, making it harder for websites or even your internet provider to track your location or browsing habits. VPNs have become a popular tool for those who want to maintain some level of anonymity online. For the most privacy conscious, some are even going as far as ditching smart devices like Amazon Echo, Google Home, or even smartphones entirely, due to the fear that these devices are always listening. Stories of voice assistants accidentally recording conversations or sending transcripts to random contacts have only added to these concerns. Ultimately, for many, it's about regaining control over their personal data and protecting their privacy in a world where everything feels connected. Whether it's fear of surveillance or just being cautious, the rise in privacy-conscious behavior shows how much this Big Brother idea has impacted the way we interact with technology today. So whether or not you believe that someone's watching your every move, the fear of global surveillance has definitely changed how we think about our privacy in the digital world. It's a conspiracy that taps into one of our biggest modern-day concerns: our rights to privacy. Last but definitely not least, let's talk about the 5G conspiracy. 5G technology was supposed to be the next big thing in wireless communication, promising faster internet and better connectivity. But somehow, it became the subject of wild conspiracies, especially with the rise of the COVID-19 pandemic. People started claiming that 5G was not only harmful, but that it could actually spread the virus. So what are the main claims here? One of the biggest is that 5G towers spread diseases. Before COVID-19, people were worried that 5G could cause cancer. But during the pandemic, a new theory emerged, that these towers were somehow transmitting the virus itself. This claim argues that radio frequencies weaken the immune system, making people more susceptible to illnesses like COVID-19, even though there's no biological mechanism for this. Others claim that 5G impacts health in general, causing a wide range of symptoms like headaches, dizziness, insomnia, and even cognitive issues. These concerns are linked to electromagnetic hypersensitivity, a condition where people believe they are sensitive to electromagnetic fields, even though studies haven't found any concrete link between 5G and these symptoms. And then there's the more extreme theory that 5G is being used for mind control. Some conspiracy theorists suggest that 5G technology is being used by governments or tech companies to manipulate and control the population through radio waves. This theory gained traction in certain online circles, despite having no credible evidence or scientific basis. But here's the reality: there's no scientific evidence backing any of these claims. Studies show that 5G is safe. The radio waves used by 5G fall under the category of non-ionizing radiation, which means they don't carry enough energy to damage DNA or cells. Unlike more dangerous ionizing radiation like X-rays or gamma rays, non-ionizing radiation has been thoroughly researched, and there is no credible link to cancer or other health issues. The idea that 5G could spread COVID-19 doesn't hold up either. Viruses are spread through biological means, like respiratory droplets from person to person, not through electromagnetic frequencies. The World Health Organization and numerous health experts have debunked the idea that any form of radio wave, including 5G, could carry a virus. As for the mind control theory, again, there's no scientific basis for this, and radio waves don't interact with the brain in any way that could alter thoughts or behavior. The concern here seems to be more rooted in fear of government control than in actual science, but no evidence supports this far-fetched idea. What's crazy is how quickly this misinformation spread online. Social media posts, videos, and even influencers played a huge role in amplifying these conspiracies. Platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter became breeding grounds for conspiracy theories, with groups sharing posts claiming that 5G was harmful, and often linking it to COVID-19 pandemic. The fear spread rapidly, with viral videos getting millions of views, leading to real-world consequences. In the UK, vandals began attacking 5G towers, setting them on fire or damaging the infrastructure because they believed these towers were the source of the virus or other health problems. At one point, over 70 incidents were reported in the UK alone, where towers were vandalized or set ablaze. Similar attacks happened across Europe, fueled by misinformation. Some telecommunication workers were even harassed and accused of being part of a conspiracy. This real-world impact shows how powerful misinformation can be, especially when combined with fear and uncertainty. People who were already anxious about the pandemic latched onto these theories, and the internet acted as a megaphone, amplifying these fears far beyond what anyone expected. It's a reminder of how easily misinformation can spread and how dangerous the consequences can be. So while 5G promises faster internet and better connectivity, it's also sparked one of the more bizarre conspiracies we've seen in recent years. In the end, it's a reminder that not everything you see online is true, and sometimes the science is way simpler than the conspiracy. So there you have it, the top 5 conspiracies we've explored: the Flat Earth Theory, Area 51 and UFOs, the Moon Hoax, global surveillance, and the 5G conspiracy. Each of these theories has sparked debate, fear, and curiosity, even in a world driven by science and technology. Conspiracy theories thrive because they tap into our need to question the world around us, especially when things feel uncertain or out of our control. It's important to stay curious, but also to be responsible with the information we consume. What do you think? Why do some conspiracies stick around for so long despite the evidence? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Are there any conspiracies you'd like me to cover next to dive deeper into? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into mysteries and debates, and stay tuned for the next video. See ya.